All right, everybody, welcome to HPT, right? The place where we collect data and build profitable systems based off that data, right? So I want to break down the week ending March 5th. 14th. Today's the 15th. So we're going to be breaking down the first 2 weeks of March. And I want to break down the opportunity that we've seen. I want to break down the progress that we're seeing across the board over here at the Discord. A lot of new members, and these members are adjusting extremely well to the team, right? So shout out to you guys. You're trusting the system, you're following the system, and you're getting results, right? And you're seeing the team do the same thing, and that's the goal over here at High Performance Trader, right? The goal is literally for you to become the absolute best version of you, right? And the only way to do that is by following the system, right? You are only as good as your ability to follow the system. So that's exactly what we're going to break down today, right? So let's dive right into it. Let me go over here. And we're going to break down the first trade that we took, right? Where's Monday? So Monday was a really just blueprint, right? This was blueprint. And this is the benefits of having a three-step approach, right? Because it's not your job to predict what's going to happen. It's not your job to guess what's going to happen. It's your job. You have one job. It's to manage capital. But your job, as far as technical analysis and identifying opportunity, is sitting on your hands until your edge presents itself. And then once it presents itself, you act, right? See, the world's programmed us to think the harder we work, the more money we make, the better we do, right? And with trading, it couldn't be any further from the truth, right? You do not get paid in accordance to how hard you work, right? You get paid in accordance to your ability to follow a profitable system, right? So that's a big, strong, contradicting belief that needs to be debunked, right? We need to debunk that belief if we ever want to see good results in the market, right? Our effort is not linked to our results, plain and simple, right? It takes nothing to click the buy button and find yourself in a profitable trade. It takes a system to repetitively click the buy button and find yourself in consistency in consistent profitable trades, right? So that's what we're going to break down today. Our edge, our system, how it prevailed. So we have a very simple system. As a matter of fact, it's a three-step approach. Number one is identify the open, right? This is open print. This is the 930 bell, right? So everyone over here at HPT has the indicator that plots the open print, right? It's very important and significant because of the volume that's associated with it, right? Open print is important because we need to figure out who's in control. The only way we figure out who's in control is by watching the open, right? So price here rallies right up into the 50. And this is the thing. If you weren't patient, this may have misled you, right? Because we're gapping down way below end of day, right? So it's always a probable scenario that we're going to get a gap fill, right? We got end of day all the way up here. We got previous day low all the way down here. So when you're coming into the market, you got to be extremely careful to not get ahead of yourself, right? I got ahead of myself on Tuesday, and we're going to break that down. But this day, we let price rally into the 50. Once again, our edge is not present. Therefore, I'm not making any decisions. I'm not getting in any trades. I'm not, assuming. I'm not predicting, right? I am sitting on my hands until I get the moving average cross and I get the RBI GBI, right? So right here, there's no trade for me, right? Price then rejects off the 50, comes down below open print, right? This is another scenario where you have to be disciplined, right? Because price is going to fall below the open. What's going to keep you just from entering in right here, right? Oh man, I don't want to miss it, right? We've all been there. We just closed below open print. We rejected the 50, right? But we don't know yet if this is chop, if this is unhealthiness, right? We're not sure yet, right? We don't have the information. We do have open print. We do have the moving average cross to the downside, right? You see this little arrow that's telling us that the 5 and the 21 have just crossed, but we don't have our entry criteria. The next candle, this candle was so blueprint. This setup was so beautiful because we rally up right? So if you chase this short, say you got in short down here, think about what's happening, right? If you got in short, let's just say you chase this out of FOMO, and you got in short here at 56669, right? And then the next candle rallies up $1.70. This would have stomped you out, right? So if you chase this short, this candle would have stomped you out. You would have been down at least 50% on your position if you got in here and let this go against you right here. Trading contracts, right? Options or futures, right? So once again, chasing is literally one of the main reasons why all these retail traders get stomped out. And that's what's happening, right? On this candle, what you're seeing is large money stomping out all the people that chased at the bottom of this candle, right? Because most traders are smart enough to trade with stop losses. So this is what you're seeing. You're literally seeing traders hop in, place, put a stop in, and then price rally up against them, stomp them out, accumulating liquidity, and then price starts to rally. This is why we don't get in the trade until the green bar gets ignored, right? So how I do it is like when price is rejecting the 50, like when all the other retail traders are hopping in right here, that's where I'm pulling up my contracts. I'm not in the trade yet. I still need my entry criteria. I need the GBI, right? So when I feel FOMO, I'll pull up the contracts. I don't get in the trade. I pull up the contracts. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here. And then we get that nice rally into the EMA cloud. Rejection, closing below open print. That right there, my contracts are ready. I'm loaded. I'm ready to get in the trade short, targeting previous day low and downside targets. All right, so then we got that nice red bar right here, blows the bottom of that out. I'm in short, and I put my stop the best place I could, right? So one thing we've been running into the last month is the volatility, the volume is so damn high that it's can be very hard for a trader that's trying to manage risk to actually pull triggers on setups, right? So one thing I've been doing, right, instead of missing this setup because I don't want to put my stop loss $1.70 away, right? So what I've been doing is getting in the trade and then putting my stop loss at around a 35% hard stop and then using the moving averages to guide me, right? There's really not a right answer for it, right? Do you get in? Do you wait for the next opportunity, right? But what works for me is when I see my edge, I got to find a way to get in. I got to. Right? So that's where I'll get in short. I'll put my stop probably where the 9 is or maybe a little bit above, the best that I can, and then I'll take the trade down to PDL. And this trade was really cool, right? Because look at how the green bar right here is established. And then, like holding trades can be an intimidating endeavor, right? So look at how price rallies down, comes up, snags that GBI perfect on the retest, and then look at how price just rejects and then sells off further, right? So this was a beautiful example of our approach on Monday. This was picture perfect, blueprint. So yeah, that was Monday. I was one and done right there. That was it for me. Literally, hold on one second. TA, what up, Brody?
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Let's break down these charts, bro. Todd is with us. Todd has been with us for the last 2 years since HVT started. Religiously showing up, putting in this work. And it shows, bro. It shows. This price action has been beautiful. It's given us such good opportunities. That right there, Monday, was perfect. That was beautiful right there.
Yeah, that's the kind of days you live for right there. That's why we trade the system.
Yep, absolutely. These days. Hold on, I got like a super loud bird right outside my window. Yeah, these days, right? This shit was like eating something. But yeah, these are like, and another thing, right? Like watching open print get lose right there, watching them buyers lose the ball right there, really just it solidified it for me, right? Like that was the green light. Anytime buyers lose open print, like they're trying, that false hold above the 50 too, that was just, oh man, that was beautiful.
Yeah, no doubt. You sharing screen, Josh?
Oh, let me double check that. Thanks, Todd. Let me see here. Screen one, bam. All right, there we go. All right, so that was Monday, one and done. Tuesday, I want to talk about because I made some mistakes here Tuesday. I took 2 trades, both of them were losses, and I want it to be an example of what happens when you don't trade your approach. Now, Tuesday, I got a little ahead of myself, right? It was one of those things where it unravels in your mind, and since you're thinking about it, you act on it, right? So we got open print right here. We're playing with end of day. We get this really strong bull 180 candle, right? This green candle wipes out the one to the left of it with a lot of strength. So I'm like, okay, I like this. And I also seen this red bar here come down, tag the open. So I was like, you know what? If I get a green bar here to wipe out the top, I'm going to take this long. And that's what I did. I got in long right here around 561. And price ends up turning around on me. Now, there's a lot of things here that I want to talk about. I didn't wait for the cross, right? I was actually anticipating the cross, and this will happen, bro. This right here, your mind will be like, oh, you're just getting in early. And once again, I wish there was a perfect answer, because there are some trades I take before the 5-minute EMA cross happens, right? Like it's you got to find that sweet spot. And this one I took long, and I end up getting stomped out on the next candle. But what was good about this trade is I did not let this go against me any more than it needed to, right? I literally stomped out. Once this red candle wiped the bottom of that green candle out, I'm out of the trade. Just watching that off the 50 was all I really needed to know, that I just was on the wrong side of the market, right? And that's how, that's the reality of the situation, right? Like, if you're not going to follow your process to a T, if you're going to try to rush it, these are the things that are going to happen to you, right? So I took that long, got stomped out, and then price sold off. There was a lot of chop here. News came out. I like seeing these sellers here off open print. This was definitely it was cool to watch, even with all that volume, that open print still, was defended there by sellers. And then I went for a long right here, right when this green candle wiped out this red candle with the moving average cross, right? But it wasn't at open print. It was going into open print, right? So that was the second trade that I took that ended up being a loss. And the reality of the situation is like, hey, listen, I put on 2 trades. They were both losses. But on these trades, I still executed appropriate risk management, right? And that's the key. Regardless which system you're trading, there's going to be some trades that go against you. You just got to be able to deal with the shit, right? Just eat it, right? It's not the end of the world. I still came out green this week, and I had 4 losing trades, right? So your system, your approach, that's one system, and then your other systems, your risk management, right? And that's what over here at HPT is the best, because we're always risking 1 bar. That's it. 1 bar risk, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bar reward, right? As long as you execute that system, you're going to do well. But those were the 2 trades I took here on Tuesday, and both of them were L's. All right, let's go into Wednesday. Wednesday was a phenomenal day. This trade right here, I cleared over 91% on this trade, following the system, right? So I want to point out here, I'm going to show it on the SPX chart, because the SPX chart just really exemplifies the critical levels and how well they really work. Wednesday. Look at how beautiful this was on SPX. So the blue line here is previous day high, right? I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to put a little zone right there. You guys see this gray box, right? That's previous day high. It's a supply zone. It's whatever you want to call it. So we're opening up and we're above end of day, right? End of day is down here. And then previous day low is all the way down here, right? So we got PDL right here. We got EOD right here. And then we got previous day high. Look at how we open, rally into PDH, right? And then reject. This right here was blueprint. Like, really think about it. What are we looking at here? We have buyers pushing price into a supply zone, right? Then we have sellers respecting the supply zone. How do we know this? Because this red candle just blew the bottom of this candle out, right? Todd knows candlestick analysis is our main tool. Our ability to look at these candles and understand what they're telling us is so important, right? It keeps us in the now moment, right? Like, you guys know how it is. If you got a bullish bias, you'll find a way to determine this is bullish, right? So we have to be able to look at the candles and be like, what's happening? And this is like, literally, we have a supply zone. It's previous day high, right? It was the highest price from the previous day, meaning sellers controlled it yesterday. So now we need to see if they control it again today. And they did, right? We pushed down below, and now we're getting some selling, right? So once again here, hold on, I don't know why this is like, I want to make it like, all right, there we go. I'm gonna ice the EMA cloud right here so that we could see it a little better. All right, there we go. So now we're getting some selling, right? We're getting our moving average cross on SPY. So now all I need is a GBI. If I get a green bar that gets ignored, now I have my risk, right? I like this too because look how it came into open print on this candle and rejected, right? So now price comes down. We fall into the 50. The 50 EMA on the 5-minute is a very important indicator on SPX, right? Is definitely a guideline. And then right here, this red candle wipes out this green candle. You can see the low of the red is lower than the green. So at this point in time, I'm in the market. I just bought puts. I execute on puts, and my stop loss goes directly above the previous candle. I'm targeting EOD. I'm targeting PDL, right? That's it. That's my system has presented itself. Therefore, I act. That's all I get to do, right? There's nothing else. I think I even said it in Discord. I was like, there's nothing else we can do. That's it. We've seen our edge. We acted. Oh, Josh, what about the 50 EMA? What if buyers control it? Well, how about this? Collect data on how many times the EMA bounce works and collect data on how many times the GBI works, right? And then based off your findings, you will have a confident answer. I know when I see this specific setup, I have an 82% win ratio. So the what ifs don't matter to me, right? Every time I say, oh, what if, I lose money, right? Or I miss out on opportunity. Right? My one job today is to execute the 3-step approach, right? And you can see it was just blueprint. It was blueprint. Once that green candle was ignored, look at how it becomes a supply zone, right? Where support turns to resistance, and then we get another green bar ignored here, taking her down to end of day, right? This little move right here on SPX made me 91% ROI. Right? That's 91% ROI, return on investment. You buy contracts for $1,000, that's $910 you made off this one move, right? So, once again, like you guys know, I'm a broken record with it, but it's so important. You're only as good as your ability to execute this system, right? Like, how do we stay away from chop? Josh, what was the difference between this day and the day before it? I took 2 L's this day. The day before it, the difference was I didn't execute my system. I didn't trade off open print the way that I usually do. This day, I traded off open print the way that I usually do. Caught a beautiful setup here. It was absolutely flawless, right? And it really wasn't like the hardest trade, right? It was, if you ask me, it was when you're following that approach, it was very simple. Hold up.
No doubt.
That was a good one right there, Todd. Look how it bounced off the 50 too.
Oh man, it's textbook. And that 940 candle. Look what we got. We got a big red bar.
Yeah.
Put a line right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
If it respects it, cut it in half.
Yeah.
Look, that bar was all green coming up into that 50% of that big red bar, and then
yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, that tells you a story all in itself, right there.
Yeah,
you know,
it does. And for what it's, look at that. Bam.
Yeah, if you was thinking bullish and you see that, you know you got to be. I'm leaning more bearish, no doubt. I'm
swapping the story. That it was watching it respect that zone that well too. It was beautiful, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when this rallied back up into open print, I wanted to short this bad. I really did, and I was like, you know what? It's so crazy, and there's nothing wrong with shorting that right there. That's a beautiful short play. That's phenomenal. Honestly, that's the first leg. Right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's just the stop's what you got a problem with them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Your stop's got to be high and tight. Your fill's got to be high and tight. And that's why, you know, allowing that GBI right there to pop up, get disrespected, it just clarifies the stop so much, which is, in terms of me getting that consistent money in this market, that's what I got to do, right? Clarify that stop loss. And dude, that was such a good trade, bro. That trade right there literally kept me well above water all week. And then Thursday was just blueprint, man. You know what I loved about Thursday? I just made a video on this one. Let me throw that EMA cloud back up here. You know, this is why the system's so damn important. Right? Like, it's not just a way to get in the market. You want a way to get in the market? Use your RSI. Buy at 30, sell at 70. That's a way to get in the market. You want a system that keeps you from losing and propels you to win? You trade our system. Because look at this. Look at this, dude. Thursday, we had massive selling in the beginning of the market, but no GBI. So, no trade. Then price rallies right back up the same way it went down. No shit. Law of polarity, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? Notice how things sell, things go up. We got 5 red candles, we get 5 going up, right? So, like, you know, this knowledge is what keeps me, like, I don't got no FOMO. When I'm watching this sell off, I'm like, I'm glad I'm not in it. I'm glad, because that's not repeatable for me. I need repeatability. Right? Yeah, we got a retest, rejection off open print. We got a moving average cross, but there's just no GBI. So I'm patient. And then price rallies right into EOD. Look at this, dude. The pit numbers prevail. Once again, right in the end of day, tons of selling. And then we get this green bar here that rallies up, sucks down. Once again, guys, when I'm seeing this, I'm pulling my contracts up. Because I know, I'm watching the time. I'm going, oh, all right, it's 11:50. I'm like, all right, there's one more minute on this candle. Let's go. Right? And then it's so crazy. You could start to expect, all right, is this going to be a GBI? I could tell you if it's going to be a GBI in the last minute. You know, the last minute of the candle, I'm usually pretty good. That's how I'm able to update the Discord so well and be like, all right, guys, watch this one. This is it. Right? Like, you know, with just tons of back testing has gotten me there. But, you know, I'm watching this candle's completely green 4 minutes in, and then the last minute, this thing sucks all the way down. Last 30 seconds, closes. At that point, contracts loaded in short. Bam. Look at that. Oh my God. Bro, Todd.
Beautiful.
Todd, how did we come up with such a good strategy? Like, think about it. This keeps us from trading this bullshit. Not saying this is bullshit, but this isn't repeatable. Like, you can't expect, yeah, you can make money on this, but you can't expect to make money on this tomorrow too. You can't expect, like, I used to make money in the market and then lay down at night and go, fuck, man, how am I going to do that again tomorrow? I got lucky. We all go through that, right? We're like, damn, man, I did good today, but shit, I got pretty lucky, you know? I got to do this again tomorrow, right? How are you going to ever trade 100 contracts that way? How are you ever going to scale up that way? You're not. The only way for you to scale to 10 contracts, 20 contracts, 30, 40, 100 contracts is knowing your system inside and out and really believing in it. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why execution is so damn important. This is why, it's not hard to be patient when you know what to look for. This was beautiful, man. Short.
And trading is the only thing that you don't want to be lucky in.
Exactly.
I'm telling you now.
Exactly, bro.
You don't want to be lucky doing this game.
Bro, I got so damn lucky my first year of trading. Bull market. I'd buy above pre-market high. I was on mad anxiety medication, so I would literally trade tons of contracts, and I would literally make like $4,000. I was making tons of money, but I was getting lucky. I had but know what's crazy is I did have a system. If we broke above pre-market high, I went long. And I still made money that year because I capped my losses when I was supposed to, and I followed the same approach. But it programmed my mind to be all screwed up when it actually came time to trading in a choppy or bearish market, right? Like it took me a lot of time to reprogram the mind in that. So yeah, I concur. You do not want to get lucky in this game.
No, not at all. And what changed my trading a lot is watching the candles form in real time and putting that together with your moving averages and stuff like that. Once you see the candles form and what story the candles are forming in the moment, what story that's telling you, then that gives you a big advantage, man.
Yeah. Staying present, understanding. I love that 50% rule, right? Like, I know what I really love and what I really look for is when I'm in a trade. A lot of traders struggling with holding trades. I'm gonna break that. I'm gonna debunk that right now. When you trade our strategy, right? Notice this right here. We got a green bar ignored. I'm in short. This isn't just a way to manage risk. This is a way to identify who is dominant. In this scenario, sellers are dominant. And they will stay dominant until the top of this candle gets disrespected. So when I enter short, I'm constantly running in my mind, what do I need to see to know buyers are stepping up, right? So I'm okay with a pullback into the 50 right here because I know the market's. I don't want the market to sell off immediately to my target because then that's an erratic trend. Right? Like, I don't want that. I don't want an unhealthy trend. I want a pullback into the cloud. I may not like it, but if my goal is to identify the trend that has the highest probability of continuing, I do want to see a pullback. I want to see the pullback into the GBI because that's another entry right there. Look at that. If you went short right here and put your stop above this guy, you would have still been fine. Right? Like this, what is this? That's the first leg down. Here's the second. Boom. Mm-hmm. And say you missed that one. Oh, man, my dog was, doing something. Look at this one. Another green bar. So this is how sellers prove that they're in control again and again. And until that changes, you got yourself a trend. Like, look at this. Look at this one. Oh my God, man! It's
beauty.
Like,
and if I can bring up a point here too, Josh, We got the GBI where you took it right there, beautiful with the big top and tail on it.
Yeah.
Well, you got buyers right there. Now, if you look at that 1050 candle,